Greetings, everyone. Every now and then I get a question of why aren't my sessions more magical, more transformative, more effective? And what I've done is I've thought back to kind of what's the most common reason I'm figuring out when people are asking me to help them consult or whatever. And the number one reason your sessions aren't more transformational, aren't more magical, doesn't matter if you're a coach, hypnotist, psychotherapist, alternative healer, is that generally you're trying to control it too much. The desire to control a session oftentimes blocks the free flow of spontaneous information. When we try to control things too rigidly, to adhere to some protocol, to enforce some specific theory, we oftentimes limit the ability for the session to have an ebb and flow and open up to new possibilities. New things are rarely found in what's known, because if we already know it, it's not new. It's really in the unknown, in the mysterious, areas where we're not usually used to going or haven't thought about going, that new resources can be uncovered, new strengths can be found, new applications of those theories and techniques can come into existence. I'll give you an example. I had a client many years ago named, I think we'll call her Angela. And Angela had this issue with anxiety. And it was kind of like a generalized state. So she was anxious most of the time. And she'd been on medication, it helped a little bit. But she was really stuck in this whole desire to control her anxiety, to not feel anxious, which is a normal thing that many of us who do deal with anxiety will tend to have. But rather than try to push on some kind of technique or do the same old thing that everyone else done about breathing exercises and all those kind of things, we just talked. And as she talked, I found out just out of the blue that she liked to cook. That was one of her things. She enjoyed cooking. So I let the conversation just flow with where cooking went. So I asked her what she liked to cook, how long she'd been cooking, if she watched cooking television programs, if she studied cooking, who were her favorite media cooks and chefs and things. And then all of a sudden a space opens. And in my mind, I think, well, if she's naturally good at cooking, why not cook up a new way of dealing with her anxiety? So I asked Angela if she had to make a dish called Angela's Anxiety, what would that dish look like? How could she create that dish, that anxiety, and serve that to her and her husband? And what would it look like? What would it taste like? How long would it take to make? And we just kind of playfully went through all these kind of things. If I remember correctly, she said it would have a lot of spices in it, maybe a little bit of heat in the taste, may have some pasta elements to it. So she went home, and that was her homework, if you will, for a week or two to really think about and to create Angela's Anxiety, a new dish that she and her husband could enjoy. So when I saw her about 2 weeks later, she had gone and created this dish. As I said, I think it had spices and pasta, and she and her husband both enjoyed it. And he even made the comment, well, I could stand a little more of Angela's Anxiety. And what's interesting is just that allowed her a little mental space to where she noticed anxiety's still there. It wasn't some magical eradication, but her relationship to her anxiety changed. So it became something a little different, scaled down a little. It wasn't as intense as it was in the previous 2 weeks. Now, if I had said I need to control the session, I need to focus only on the anxiety. Okay, we're getting off topic. Let's come back to your problem. Let's stay focused in your problem. Let's get saturated in your problem. Let's get locked into your problem. And we have to do all these steps and regimentation. That free flow of information, that just spontaneous opening involving cooking, involving food, would not have happened. So when your client starts to drift, maybe don't try to control it so much. Maybe have the patience to just sit back and let things emerge rather than trying to control. If you're feeling like you're trying to control something in a session, it might be a good idea to back off. I remember John Weakland, who's one of the founding members of the Mental Research Institute of Palo Alto, made the comment that when you're trying too hard, you're struggling too much, slow down. Slow down. Give some space. And I think that's wonderful advice. Don't try to rush. Take your time. Doesn't mean that we're wasting time. We're allowing what's naturally coming up. It's almost a Taoist way of being. We're seeing what emerges without our force, kind of a Wu Wei thing. So anyway, something to think about maybe. You have comments, ideas, please put them down there. I'd love to read them. And if these videos are helpful to you, feel free to subscribe. My goal is to help coaches and hypnotists and therapists and whomever who's doing healing work, maybe to be a little more effective, maybe enjoy their work a little more, maybe to think about healing in a slightly different way. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for watching.